Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan Readthrough podcast. Today on the podcast, we are reading Deadhouse Gates, chapters 13 and 14. My name is Peter Bond, and I've read each book in the main series. However, my two co-hosts are reading the series for the first time. With me today is my friend and closest confidant, India Jones.
Hello.
And our resident divers, Joshua Dean Baker.
'Tis I, the man who can turn into several raccoons.
Yo, that actually sounds kind of sick, though, you know?
Sickening, maybe. Raccoons are gross. Hot take.
Now, so I'm really gonna... It's killing me, because when we wrapped up last week's episode, I realized I forgot to talk about one of my favorite quotes from the series. However, the quote's gonna be a bummer.
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Sure.
What is dead may never die?
No, what? What? I don't... So I just feel like I'm gonna... I don't want to start us off with a negative...
I got it. You're a wizard, Harry.
No, okay. So last chapter, Diker is like walking, like chapter 12, I think, and he's talking to Lull, and he's talking about history, and the quote is, "Children are dying." Lull nodded. "That's a succinct summary of humankind, I'd say. Who needs tomes and volumes of history? Children are dying. The injustices of the world hide in those three words." And I just think it's a very good quote, and I think about it a lot as this specific violence of the world and society's willingness to ignore it in a way. Not willingness, I don't know, it's a complicated thing. They are willing, but...
Damn, Peter.
Yeah. Duiker spits hot fire.
Yeah, and I think it just prods at a type of indifference that society can wield.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I don't like his parts of the chapters.
Wow.
Why?
For downers like that.
Oh, no, but I don't know. I just think it's tough because I really have nothing to say about this quote besides I think it's very good, and I would be remiss if I did not bring it up when discussing Deadhouse Gates.
It is something.
I'm glad that you spoke your truth.
Thank you. Well, we have no whiz-bang to go out on, so maybe we should get straight into the chapters.
Let's do this. What's a whiz-bang?
Yeah, I didn't want to ask.
I don't know. I guess when I was imagining it, part of me
now,
thought...
I do want to say whiz-bangers are from Harry Potter, so...
I guess just when I knew I was going to bring up this bummer quote, I really thought there was a chance one of the two of you were going to jump in at the last second.
Do you mean whiz-bang from Hearthstone?
No, just like something exciting or funny, you know. I thought it would help the podcast if one of the two of you were gonna... I
don't think Crimes Against Gnomes is funny, Peter. Whiz-bang deserves better treatment. I think
pretty insensitive for us to make a joke after that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So chapter 13.
Yeah. India, do you want to read the chapter summary?
Oh,
and then I'll read the next.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'm not really a good reader. I'm not confident in my reading, but I'd love to try it.
That's okay.
I know we had you read one once, but Josh's reading got into the pod. We put Josh in now. Here, do you want to read the next one? This one's...
I'll do this one.
You'll do this one.
Yep.
You have such a calming voice. Like, I have such a shrill tone.
Oh my god, please. All right, hit it, Josh.
Chapter 13. At the Wiccan camp, Duiker and List are summoned to Coltane. They quarrel with the nobles, including the shrill Inestro, about the nobility mistreating their servants. With the council, Sormo speaks about the demon that mauled the Semp godling. Duiker speaks of the servants to Coltane. He thinks it was a mistake to return them to the nobility after being recruited to help at the Sakala. Coltane agrees and will purchase the servants. The Wiccans have also decided to meet Camistrello at the upcoming River Pa'atha. That night, Coltane and Duiker speak. They cannot use Warrens or the land spirits, and Camistrello's army is robust, seeing Wiccans donning ruined armor to be the cavalry. With the Malazans, Captain Lull speaks of the 7th and describes the battle formations. Across the dry river basin, Camistrello's army watches as Coltane's forces cross. Arrows and soldiers from the rebels descend down, and a battle ensues. Coltane's army begins pushing up towards Rello's encampment. Sappers emerge like turtles in winter. They have buried themselves in the night. The sappers break the rebel lines on top of the ridge, and Coltane's forces take it. In the rear, the T'Santhi and Semp Godling have been defeated. The Weasel clan use the refugees as bait, led by Nil and Nether. Hundreds of refugees perish as a result. On the ridge, Camarasarello has fled and the battle is over. We learn that Coltane's forces have been named by the enemy the Chain of Dogs. In the Imperial Warren, Kalam finds remnants of the High King Kalor's ancient empires and worries that this man is amongst the armies of Genabacchus. Afterwards, Kalam and his allies leave the Warren and emerge into Arryn. The group has a drink at an inn, and Kalam's attention is drawn by the Nappin Salkin Elam. Salk, the captain of the Ragstopper, has been fully paid and was awaiting for Kalam. He will take the assassin to Unta. Lostara, Yil, and Pearl follow them to Arryn and debate what to do. They agree to travel together, but first Lostara Yil goes to report to her command. However, she learns the Redblades have been put under detention here in Arryn. Kalam tells Manala that he will leave and urges her to return to Quan Tali and leave Keneb to the soldiers here. Kalan leaves, but after, we see Manala and Keneb talk. Manala says goodbye to Keneb, but then goes after Kalam.
So at the end, we at the end of the chapter, obviously everyone gets to Arryn and we do a whole big Arryn swap, but the meat of it is the Battle of Gelor Ridge and Diker in the camp before. India, Diker's amongst the people. He sees the nobles, and then before we get to the battle, and what you think? I know you and Diker have been hot and cold sometimes. Well, how'd you feel about spending so much of this chapter kind of seeing the camp from his point of view?
Great question, Peter. So I started this chapter and I think I messaged you guys and I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling his vibes because he was, I think in the beginning, like one of the nobles is like beating the shit out of someone. One of his servants. Yeah, one of the servants. And he goes over there and just tears that guy a new asshole and takes the servant and takes him to the doctor or whatever. Not the doctor, but their carts of death. Sure. And it just showed a lot. Like, I never really cared much about his character as a person or his ideals. But in that moment, he was a man for the people, and I appreciated it. And he also has no time for the bullshit, which I also appreciate.
He does not have time for the bullshit. That is true.
So I liked everything up until, the whole fight scene, which I had when the sappers came out, I had to Google it because I was like, I'm so confused as to why they're coming out of the ground. But that whole part was lost on me. But the whole beginning where he rescues the guy and then he gets them all like bought.
Yeah,
back.
He has Coltane purchase the servants because like there's just no reason to have all these people around.
I loved
to not
it.
be fighting essentially.
I loved it. But then I felt bad when the Wiccan's cattle dog took a little pup and tried to eat it, I think. That made me sad.
Well, no, I think they were just traveling together. I don't think it was eating it, right?
No, I think it was.
Oh, Peter, buddy. I've got some bad news.
No, Peter.
They're friends.
Peter, honey. They were hungry. They were freaking hungry. And then they made the joke like, haha, the dogs are smarter than we are. They thought to eat the little lap dogs first. And I got very upset by that. But other than that, the whole beginning, I really enjoyed. I thought it was good content.
But to me, it sounds like, and Josh, I do want to talk about the Battle of Gelor Ridge more, but it sounds like more like your beef is not necessarily sometimes with Diker, but more just that the chain of dogs and the kind of battle stuff is maybe not as much something you're interested in.
Was it known that they were the chain of dogs before they said they're the chain of dogs in that chapter?
No, they got the nickname this chapter.
Oh, I loved that. I was like, oh, I know that name. I think it's the name of a book. Yeah. That might be the next one, I think.
Can I ask a question? Sure. So I don't think we've delved into it. I don't think the book has. Why does Coltane, I'm going to put this lightly, not just fucking leave all the refugees?
Josh.
I've been wondering this the whole time we've been on this shit. And it's like, because he's shown that he doesn't mind sacrificing them. And it's just so confusing because he's this Wiccan who is like originally, you know, from this really tribal based thing where like the strong survive and stuff, and he's been, you know, taken into the Malazan Empire, but he's not like really from there. Like, what loyalty does he have to these people? Like, why is he choosing to take them when, like, they've said if he left them, the Wiccans could just fucking dip and would never be caught? Is it just he's a good person?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, so there's two.
Because I'll just say this: if Josh, if your boy was in Coltane's situation, fucking gone. Day one,
Josh.
All right, y'all, we're gonna go to bed. First day on the. All right, Wiccans, and go.
Josh,
gone.
Josh, you can't. No. Oh no.
Peter is just horrified.
Josh, you can't do that to people. That's not a way to treat humans.
I mean, you can.
No,
should
Josh.
you? Oh, that's up for debate. But could you? Oh yeah.
You could, and then you would be a bad person. Josh.
Well, what is bad? I mean, isn't everything shades of gray?
I would say it's leaving these people to die.
Well, in war,
if they were
Josh.
stronger, they could come with us.
Oh my God.
Josh, they're ill, Josh.
I'm saying, guys, in war, I'm fucking out here to survive. Not
the children
make friends.
should be in
You
war.
think that you'd like to listen more then? You know?
Well, okay,
Christ.
I'm not gonna be a bitch. I'm just trying to live.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord, we gotta go, Peter. We gotta go. End it. We gotta cut it early.
Josh, you got out of this hole, my friend. Come on up.
Sorry. Oh my God. Anti-Josh
It's been
took
a
over.
long week
Sorry,
for
I'm
Josh.
back. Felicin
my
is not a
God.
bitch, and I would never leave people.
It looks like a poltergeist had possessed you.
Yeah,
over the last
that was
few
so
minutes.
weird, guys. It was fucked up.
It was a tough week, Josh. We all have them.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Let's push forward.
Okay, but like legitimately, I mean,
But no,
maybe
seriously, is
some
it
sort
just
of,
like his like moral compass says that he should be
that's
doing
how
this?
I've always understood it. So
Okay.
maybe there is an explicit reason in the books. Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
like something I'm missing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always understood it that basically it's the moral thing to do, and that like you know, and they are a burden, and of course they talk about that. But I mean, they all fled the city together. You know, I think they fled Hisar, and you know, I don't know. It just
And what happens if he needs another couple hundred people to sacrifice? You know.
Josh,
Indeed.
that's exactly
that's
right.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, how can you sacrifice the refugees if you don't have them in the first place, Josh?
You're right.
Come on.
You're right. It's all so that they can be used tactically.
Yeah.
No, that's smart, Inge. No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. I just wasn't sure if I'd missed something or not.
Well, we blew up about that.
Yeah, I mean, now that I've revealed myself as the fucking scum of the earth, let's keep going.
That's not what I mean. So now that we burst into that, I know for me, one of my big takeaways from the Battle of Gelor Ridge is I really understood more about how turtles function in winter. Because I did not know that. I did not know that turtle fact, and now I do. You know?
Now, okay, I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay, so question number one. Coltane, how the fuck is he just letting these sappers do whatever they're trying to? Like, they literally are just out of control. Number two, because we talk, they've talked a bit. Are we good?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, number two, they've said in the books a couple times how, like, Malazan Marines and stuff are super deadly, and the sappers are super deadly. Like, are these people just fucking madmen? Is that, like, the requirements? Like, do you just have to, like, have no care about your physical well-being?
Yeah, well, they're definitely a little loopy. But I think their independence is like part of how they function, you know? It's
Yeah,
like they even
it
speak
definitely
about
has
that with
worked
Miles.
in this case. It just strongly worries me that, like, there's going to be the next battle. The sappers are going to be like, and this time, we've shown up here, wah, slaughtered. Like, you know.
You think they could fumble it?
Yeah, oh, yeah, they could botch it real good.
Yeah. And
Also, turtles, I do not believe, bury in to dry riverbeds, right? Like, that shit had to be so dusty, where they're talking about how dry it is.
But also, I think they talk about how I imagine it being the looseness of the soil is what made it physically possible.
I guess so. Kind of changing pace away from the sappers, the best characters in the series so far. I do want to say again, like Eric said, Andy, I know you're not loving it in terms of like trying to read through a battle because it is a lot going on.
I'm hating it. Yeah.
You're hating it. That's, yeah. Okay, I was trying to use some light language, but you're hating it. But for your boy who does like to read about battles, I thought this one was like somehow even easier to understand.
It definitely was. Yeah, I agree.
Easier to understand, and also it felt really dire. Like, I really was wondering. I was like, I don't understand how the cavalry are going to work. I don't understand how anything is going to work. And if you had asked me, all right, Josh, option A, random bullshit luck, or option B, 2 warlocks steal the life energy of a horse to make other horse better. If you had given me those two, they killed that horse. It died standing upright. They sucked its life energy out, and that made everyone move faster, including the other horses.
Yeah.
Nell and Nil
because
or whatever.
I thought they were going to just like shape the earth different, right? I was like, oh, they're just going to do their earth stuff. And they were like, nah, now we've got horse blood magic. Just
they're drawing
wild.
from the primal sources now.
Just wild,
that's what happens when Warrens ain't around.
Yeah.
God, this cover art is making more and more sense now.
Oh, that's right. Bring it back to the horses.
But there's one with a skull. I assumed that was the apocalypse, like Riders of the Apocalypse or some bullshit.
This was
Podcast
no
cover art,
ordinary
Josh.
horse
Podcast.
that they were suck. I was wondering why they were standing next to a horse.
Who's standing next to a horse? Do you have
Never
different
Podcast
cover?
art, Josh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it mentions like a horse totally motionless, and I was like,
they
that
do
is
some
one still horse.
They do some fucked up shit. I do wonder, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I am morbidly curious if they're gonna hit a low, like if they're gonna hit so low that they fucking use human life force, and if that's gonna break some like primal rule of the world, like some law that can't be I'm like, that's some typical fantasy shit, but I could also see Erickson like letting them use a human soul and it just being like chill, pretty chill. I mean, that person is doomed to suffer for all eternity, but like, hey, we're good out here.
I do have some insider knowledge that he sets up tropes and then just breaks them.
I met this guy.
So
we had a long talk.
I don't know. Like, I was having a conversation with him once, and that's what he told me. I don't know about you guys,
Steven Erickson?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool of you.
It's no big deal. It's really not. I just thought I'd drop that real quick.
Is he as hot as they say?
Oh my Christ.
It's inappropriate.
All right. Let's.
But yeah, kind of.
Oh my God! What are we doing? Oh my God! Alrighty. So the Battle of Gello Ridge it happened. Yes. Anywho. Oh my God! Christ! Try and get this train back on the goddamn track. So Kalam sees some ruins, and then they get out of the Warren, and he's going to Uta. The captain's just waiting for him.
Yo, what the hell?
Now he's gonna die on this boat, right?
Is there what's the vibe on the awaiting captain for him?
I felt resolved to it. I'm used to not understanding why people are in places when they're there, so this just seemed like a bit of the same.
But this is so fucking far-fetched. Like, leak in hand far-fetched, Peter. What? Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
That was good.
AJ silently just broke his neck to look at the camera in satisfaction. No, how would quick mend? Because was the plan to go to Aran? Let me start with there. I can't remember. Was that
that was the plan?
So I guess conceivably, if the plan was to go to Aran, then they had this in motion, but it just seems so sketch. I don't like it. I think Kalam's dead.
Inge, do you want to get on a boat that just happens to be waiting for you out there?
I mean, how else will the story go on, guys? Something has to happen.
Damn.
And more importantly, Kalam just straight he's cutthroat. He's like, oh, see you, friends, leaves.
No, well, I was not cutthroat. He was doing it for their own benefit.
Yeah, but he didn't stay around. It's not like he was sentimental, they traveled together. He talked to Kenneth, but it's not like he's like, oh, Kenneth.
You know what? This is what his life has led him to,
Yeah.
But his
then
girl's
also,
coming after him.
Yeah, that's true. Manala's following.
Oh yeah.
And then the Red Blades are put under arrest.
That was so dumb.
yeah.
I don't even know who they are.
I could
They are
not
the
have
most
given less
irrelevant,
of a
like,
shit
little-
about it.
They
Thank
are the
you,
most
India.
irrelevant afterthoughts I have ever. When they talk, I like zone out. I'm like, I'm done. Shut up, Lostara and Pearl.
Agreed. Now, Pearl. Okay, Pearl's great. I like.
What do
Pearl.
you like about
Could
Pearl?
not give less
Pearl
of a shit about
just talks
Lostara.
in riddles and cackles.
Yeah, that's great. If we had a chapter where, if there was a section coming up that's like, and now Lostara, I'm gonna fucking skip it. I'm gonna be like, don't care about
I literally
Lostara.
don't care. I don't care about either of them, to be honest. She's like, and then it's like, oh, she got taken away, and like she was so she didn't even fight back, and it's like, who even are you? Who are you?
Lostara, more like let's start mattering, idiot.
Yeah. Let's stop talking.
Oh, got her.
Got him. Awful. Truly awful. I don't even want to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. Okay, they're still following them. Who knows why? Who cares why? Why are they together? I don't care. Chapter 14.
That's it. We're done. We're cutting to 14.
Chapter 14. Felison wishes to leave this cave and the doomed city. Hoborik regains himself after drinking and eating, and then they descend further in. They find marking of holes, an elder version of the Deck of Dragons. They find a pathway out into the whirlwind, and Hoborik leads the way down into Raraku. They encounter the merchant Nawel Eber, returning to the whirlwind goddess. His servants offer them wine and comfort, which Felison takes. Culp opens his warren, skeptical of the merchant, and as they discuss sorcery, the merchant rears into a divers of black rats. They battle the divers, and more shapeshifters descend. Bowden emerges to fight for them. Bowden sets fire to the divers and himself. Felison and Hoborik escape back into the magical barrier as Culp is overwhelmed. Felison falls asleep, weak from the wine, and awakes to Hoborik weeping. Culp is dead. Felison tries to tend to the old man when Bowden emerges. Bowden collapses, says that Felison was not what he expected, and dies. Fiddler, Crocus, Mappo, and Akarium walk across Raraku. They speak of Apsalar. They think she has found her father. Expectancy is in the air. They wonder what it would mean for a god to rule a mortal empire. In the heart of the whirlwind, the omen of the flails and the Toblakai have been awaiting the arrival of Sha'ik Reborn. Out from the storm comes an old man and a woman with dark hair. "You are reborn," Leoman said. The woman's low laugh was triumphant. "So I am." She shifted her grip on the old man, whose head hung down, his clothes nothing but rags. "Help me with him, but beware his hands." Alrighty, here on the podcast, we try and be very honest, you know, and honestly, we recorded this whole segment before. It's lost to time. It's lost to the internet etherscape. I just made the anyway. Man, Christ.
I take zero responsibility for it.
I would say it's more lost in Audacity and the files of India's laptop, but that's getting into specifics.
India who? It was not me.
It was. It was a group effort. Anywho's, so
I did nothing.
That's all to say.
Listen.
We've
When the Patreon hits 10,000 subscribers, we'll release the audio of just me and Peter, and it'll sound like we're demented idiots waiting for a third ghost voice.
Anyway. So what I mean is we briefly discussed this chapter before, you know? And that's all to say, I already know that there is a disagreement between my two co-hosts. So I would just like to prompt Josh to start off with why he thinks the Sha'ik Reborn is Apsalar.
Felison.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know which one. Let me try it. Sorry, let me back up. I want Josh to quickly state why he thinks Sha'ik Reborn is Felicin.
In this essay, I will explain why the end of chapter 14 clearly points to Felicin being Sha'ik Reborn rather than that nobody, Apsalar, formerly
Merriam-Webster
Cotillion.
defines Sha'ik Reborn.
Exactly. So, the last sentence of chapter 14 is, but beware his hands, okay? What does the word... Just pause for vamp. Happy day, Thanksgiving. Webster's dictionary does, in fact, define beware as be cautious and alert to the dangers of. I'm just saying, we have not met two hands more dangerous besides my own. You don't mean to throw them. But in the books, at least, we've not yet... in the books, we've met no two hands more dangerous than Haboric's ghost boar hands, or whatever the fuck they are. And that is why Sha'ik Reborn is Felicin, and she has carried Haboric with her. Thank you.
India, do you want to quickly state why you think Sha'ik Reborn is Apsalar?
I'm so happy you asked. In this rebuttal, I will discuss why this woman is Apsalar and not Felicin. Okay, so Felicin literally... It's just not at all an idea that anything is happening with her. Her frenemy just died. She's in the middle. She's half dead herself with another half dead person who, in just the middle of nowhere, there's no alluding to the fact. And I guess maybe that's the point. Maybe that's where you're all like, oh, India, you're so dumb. Like, obviously, there's no alluding. No. Apsalar, it makes more sense. Why would she be in this book if not for this purpose? She was going somewhere. We knew she was on the move with someone. Her father, apparently. We don't know what his hands can do. We have no idea what these hands could do. And maybe, just maybe, they're a little more lethal than Haboric's. I don't know why. But it's just freaking Apsalar, right? I don't need to explain it to you guys. You're welcome for the spoiler.
Well, I'm glad we got I'm glad we got those official...
Mr. Moderator, I believe I'm entitled to a 10-second counter argument.
All right, you can counter argument. All right, fine.
Am I also entitled to a 10-second? Just kidding, fine. But it's Apsalar. It is. If only I read ahead. Oh, that's why you asked if we read ahead, because we're gonna find out, I think, Josh.
I would hope so. Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't put it past this book to not find out.
If she's
just the girl with dark hair for the rest of the story.
Last page of the book, it's revealed which one is which. That'd be some bullshit.
To be fair, Inch has got us on that one. That is actually in the cards, and Erickson would just not tell you. So
yeah,
she would just be referred to as the girl with dark hair for the rest of the story.
And then we never check in with Felicin or Absalom.
We never go back.
Classic.
Last
Erickson.
we know, Felicin is crying in the fucking desert.
So yeah, let's step back up and check in, because the chapter's mostly from Felicin's point of view, you know?
My girl.
And we see her within the Shapeshifter City, and we see these holds, which I think it's I mentioned the last time we recorded this. Nothing funny there, just sad. The holds are something we return to later in the series, kind of like how the Adzath house was introduced in Gardens of the Moon, and for me, returning through it a second time, it's kind of interesting to see them here and to completely disregard them, as I know Josh and India did. It stood out to me as, I don't know, interesting to see.
Who did we disregard?
The holds.
I don't know. The holds, we don't have a reason to care about them yet, other than they're an elder version of the Deck of Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
And I'm still very confused why the Deck of Dragons is so goddamn accurate when it wants to be. Like, how does it get its power?
Well, it doesn't have power. It's more of a reflection of power.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's the bullshit.
I mean, the Deck of Dragons...
So you're saying the Deck of Dragons is the concrete and the the fortune telling is the bullet the gods have shot directly at the deck of dragons, and it's reflecting it off.
I don't know how on earth you went for that metaphor. How was that what you chose?
Do you want a second one? I can get a different reflection.
We don't need another metaphor.
So the deck of dragons is the mirror that reflects the sunlight, which is the prophecy, and the original sunbeam is from the sun, the gods.
I mean, it's just the deck of
And everyone else is an ant.
Oh my god.
Got him.
Christ. All right, so then...
Wait, so can we just dive in?
I think you mean divers in.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, we're all there for it.
So they meet the divers. Josh, what do you think? You try and hang out with this divers merchant? Seems like a chiller to me.
Well,
So, okay, and I said this in the first recording, and it was like, there was every reason. Yes, Peter?
I just love that we keep talking about the first recording.
Yeah. So
you guys should have been there. It was really good.
Oh, it was the best time.
Yeah. I said this in the first one, though. It's like all signs pointed to don't trust this guy. He has undead servants. He's in the middle of the he's powerful enough to reflect the whirlwind. Like all signs where he's a bad guy. But Erickson he gets you into that false sense of security where you're like, oh, well, obviously he's this, therefore he can't be that. And then this time it's like, ha, gotcha, he's a bunch of rats. Fuck you.
I love that. Just like the idea of him just like exploding into rats. Do you know?
I don't, because
That made me
that's
so
actually my
angry.
nightmare. That's my nightmare, so I don't love it.
And like mostly it's like they're kind of saying the whole time like, hey, he's fucking weird. Like this is not
But
normal.
Iskaral Pust was weird, and he was just a fun, flirty weird. And Noel Eber is the opposite of fun, flirty weird.
Yeah, he's like uncool
so-
murder weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, with the random bursts of anger, but I was just like, okay, well, some people get angry, you know? It's what it
Now I
is.
would love to see more from the dead servants, because they had
They
some
were funny.
comedy. They
Yeah,
had some,
they
had
were doing some
moments.
bits.
Yeah.
Let's get them into the ground link, see if we can't get a future for them, you know?
I don't know what you just said, but sure.
I'm with it.
All right. Inge, then we see Bowden emerges and kind
Out of nowhere, literally carrying 39 lanterns that he found somewhere at the local lantern shop in the middle of the desert, and died, which was kind of sad.
Yeah, how'd the Bowden death hit you?
Okay.
Because Culp dies too, but Bowden's death is definitely more of the centerpiece in that movie.
Yeah, they hella overshadowed Culp, but like really bad now that you say that. But that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is.
Well, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. And sorry to interrupt, but sometimes deaths are ignominious, and it's nice that Culp kind of is thrown aside, and I don't know. It's nice to have the contrast between the two of them.
I guess so. It's just the futility of life,
That's exactly right.
Channeling
Ange.
my inner Felicin.
Yeah.
Felicin, whatever it is.
Anywho,
that damn name.
So,
but anyway,
on
yeah,
Bowden.
no. So I feel bad because he says like later on when they meet again, when he comes like literally not even a person, just like a pulp back to her, and he's like, I did the fire thing before, like I didn't think I would die, so I feel bad because my thing is, would he have done it if he knew that he could die? I don't know, but it was really, really nice that he did.
It was almost
come back.
When he talks about not thinking he would die, it's almost childlike in how sure he was of himself.
For sure.
And like how he just assumed nothing bad would happen. It was really weird. I don't know if it was out of character because I don't know if I thought enough about Bowden while he was with us to really figure out what his character was, So I don't know.
Agreed.
And the reread in 5 years, 10 Very Big Books, The Redux, I guess I'll pay more attention.
I'll listen to the podcast when you retell it in 10 years.
Thank you.
I really like the kind of death moment with Bowden because I think Bowden and Felicin have very.
I hate when you say this.
I think they have a very.
Please finish. Sorry, it was in the first recording. Sorry. I just know this thought, and I disagree so much. Please finish it. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry.
This is just a cheap remake of the classic.
Yeah, I've been saying it for years.
I hate the new season. The actors are so much worse.
Yeah, they're really phoning it in.
Yeah. I just think they have a very interesting relationship, and I like how, I don't know, I think you can read a lot of things into it, you know? And I think you can talk about them as kind of flirtatious. I think you can talk about them as kind of hating each other, and I said it last time, and I know India hates it. I think there's a childlike rapport between the two of them in a that is really a way to show affection, you know? And I know, Fellison tried to murder him. But yes, you're always bringing this up.
Josh and I hard disagree. They hated each other. It made no sense for them to play sad. And
they're playing sad because they don't hate each other.
They didn't even share nice words. It was just like, I didn't know that you were not, like, what did she do? What was she not like he would not think that, like, what did she do that made her not like he would think that she was like? She literally is exactly what I thought that she would be like.
They shared nice words on the deck of the Solanda, and you know it.
What?
On the deck of the Solanda, there's that moment where they have like a nice conversation together.
And I would call
you
that
can have a nice
conversation.
Sorry, go ahead, India.
It's called being polite.
Yeah, I can have a casual
Cordial.
conversation with someone and then brutally murder them because I'm a serial killer. That doesn't make me a better person because for a moment
is
she
not
was
a serial killer. That's incredibly unfair.
What?
She's not a serial killer.
Bowden is.
Okay,
Bowden's literally what the fuck ever he is. A Talon?
He's a Talon. That's not a serial killer.
He's a murderer. A hired murderer.
How on earth could you say this? I'm like, when we discussed the last chapter, you said you should leave all of the refugees to die.
And I will stand by my statement in survival of the fittest out there.
And Bowden has killed Lady Gason, and all of a sudden Josh is getting up in his moral tower.
Peter, I've never said I was a good person. I'm just saying I understand that he's a bad person because I too am.
Oh my god.
I mean, and honestly, like, understanding her circumstances, she also did try to kill him. So Peter, I get you love that they have like a childlike friendship that I just disagree with, but I also just don't think that ever happened, and I don't understand that scene. I don't understand really anything about that, but I can appreciate it for what it is. Also, there's no way he could have walked to them, no way, like being half dead like that is all I have to say.
Yeah,
magic, man.
Definitely him rolling up is something, but
he had no face. What? And how can you even, like, I don't even know if I could be I'd be scared. Yeah, there would be no kind words. I would just be like, ah!
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
But you know what? It is what it is. They are still out there in that desert because...
Before we move on from this whole storyline, I want to check in on Haboric. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in the Fellison wall. Haboric's really been going on a whole journey. So Josh...
I gotta say, I've got to hand it to Haboric in this last part of the story.
You've got a what?
Hand it to him.
Yeah. No, Inch, we're good, actually.
What about him? I mean, he's going fucking insane.
But, like, how are you feeling? I feel like Haboric, too, has really gone on a kind of a descent in a way.
The dude is broken. And,
there's a breaking.
Potentially irreparable. It is unclear currently.
Inch, you like Haboric?
I mean, he doesn't, intrigue me at all. I know he should because he has all that stuff going on, but I also just like he talks and I just am like, what sir, what are you saying? I only like when he talks to Fellison because they sound like friends.
Yeah,
well, they definitely they're more openly friendly, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes being the key word.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just want to check in on Haboric, but before we move on to the very end of the chapter, we should note that we check in with Mappo Aquarium, Crocus Fiddler. Any thoughts on our four boys in the wind?
My thought is I can't wait for them to be doing something somewhere important next. I don't know. I think I said in the first recording, I mean, it's gonna go bad for Mappo and Akarium in a way that is Akarium gets part of his memory back and is like, Mappo, what have you been doing? And Mappo tries to explain it and I don't know, probably gets fucking killed.
Well, there's prophecy about all five of them that set out from the...
I forget what the prophecy was already, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
I'm sure it was important.
Me too.
I'll look it up later. Someone will tweet it at us. Tweet at me at Peter Bond 69.
All right. Not my Twitter handle. Nice try.
I did my best.
Although maybe I should stake that out. Seems like a choice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So then finally we come, and turns out Leomin and Toblakai have just been chilling hard, waiting for Sha'ik Reborn to return.
I didn't think about this at first. What the fuck are they doing? They are just they're just there looking at a body.
They're
waiting.
guarding Sha'ik's body and the Book of Dryjna.
But what is the time frame? Because listen, if someone's supposed to meet me at 8, at 8:06, their ass is cut. Like, I'm not talking, like, that's as much time as I give to somebody before I'm like, well, you had your shot. Like, they've been here for weeks, according to Coltane's March.
But
if the timelines are
But what
together.
if you were waiting for the Whirlwind Goddess, you know?
Man, maybe 8:07, if she's lucky.
What? Yeah, no, absolutely not. But I mean, are they, I guess it's a job, you know?
I guess it is a job.
That's true. Everyone's got to make that bread, you know?
Gotta make that bread.
Gotta make that bread. Speaking of bread, do we ever get into the bread of this world? Are we talking like rustic farmers' loaves?
Are you
Do they have
kidding
a good sourdough starter? Like,
we even talked about Darrow flatbread in
We did talk about Darrow flatbread.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, but what about Seven Cities bread? I mean, listen, with a name like Seven Cities, you gotta have a bunch of good types of bread, right?
Honestly, knowing the world building in
Seven
this
grain.
series, you know there's some writing on the bread of Seven Cities.
I need to know if Arin
Guys.
is like the capital of Ciabatta of Seven Cities.
Yeah.
Like, that would make my life.
Yeah. I
We
think
are derailing hard.
that's what happens when I think we take a second stab at recording this, you know?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Was Kalam in this chapter at all?
No. It's pretty
He's on that
Felsen-
boat. He's on that boat
we're like
with that lady.
in the whirlwind.
That
yeah,
guy.
Kalam, remember, is catching a ride to Unta.
Yeah, I just thought that we visited. I don't know. Stopped in, said hi.
Nah, not this chap.
That was really just it. That was just.
Yeah, it's
what happened?
it's a little small nugget of a chapter, and now we've talked about it two times. So
How lucky are we that that's the part that got cut off for whatever reason to whoever it happened to?
by a totally random happenstance. All right, let's. Man, we've completely lost.
Do we have to
the
talk
thread.
about? I mean, there's nothing to talk about. This was a tiny. We could have just not done
It
it,
was a
but
quick chat.
like we got to give the people what they want.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I think
thought
we
it
did
was-
our
want,
due
guys?
We did our
What more
due
do you
diligence.
want?
The two of you. I don't know. I mean,
That's all I got, Peter.
I know. So I don't know what you want out of me.
Yeah.
Peter, maybe an answer.
All right, all I'm gonna do is end the.
I don't know.
All I'm gonna do is end the goddamn show. The car barely ever got started.
I would like to introduce a new segment.
What's the new segment? Us recording a podcast 2 times?
The new segment is Josh's Turkey Talk. Hey, y'all, listen. I recorded this on November 29th, Black Friday. I just want to say, I hope you all, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you didn't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful day, you know? Don't give in to Black Friday. Consumerism will kill us all. Eat the rich.
What's up? Like where we're taking it, you know?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Although I have to say, naming the segment Josh's Turkey Talk does feel a little misleading. Was not that foul focused. All right.
Okay.
As always, we're 10 Very Big Books on Gmail and Twitter. Let us know what you think of the show. Can either of you
Leave this episode out when you tell us what you think about the show.
when you wanna talk
Don't
about
even
it.
recall this
Think
one.
about some of the other chapters we've discussed. Oh my god. Ange, do you have a prediction for going into the final book? Everything's coming home to roost.
This is a lot to think about. I think that Absolar is Sha'ik now.
I was going to say Felicity Sha'ik. Damn it.
He's just gonna.
All right, so we're all right.
Here, I have a different prediction. You can
I
use
don't
the-
have any predictions, Peter. I don't even understand the whirlwind. I don't even know what it means. Damn it!
It's a
Come
literal
on.
whirlwind.
Don't
Okay,
ask
I
me
got
the
mine,
question.
Peter. Peter, mine is that Kalam's gonna get fucking betrayed and murdered on the ship. I think the ship's bad.
No, please.
Alrighty. Well, you heard
I
it.
think Whiskey Jack is on the ship.
Oh, the
I
ship,
disagree. Whiskey
on the
Jack's on
ship?
Genabacchus.
Alrighty.
don't
Well,
know that.
Hey, wait a minute. Why the fuck? They have that literal talkie machine, the bone talkie things. How does Kalam not get one of those when he goes on this trip?
so boy, we look forward to hearing from you next week.
Fuck you.
Talking to you next week. I can't wait to get into the end of this book. To be honest, I'm pretty excited about it. Should be a great time.
So excited!
Alrighty.
Yay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays!
Man, what a train wreck.
I thought it was fun.
I loved it.
Hello, everyone. Producer AJ here with a shorter one today. Thank you, as always, for listening to the show. Sorry about the few audio snafus. The new macOS update was really wreaking havoc on someone's recording setup. But thankfully, they made it through. If you appreciate the resilience and you want to help spread the word about the show, you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, or you can just tell someone. Word of mouth is our best advertisement. Thank you so very much to Dan Gesrick for making our spectacular logo. You can follow him on Twitter at Dan Gesrick for the hottest man who used to dance at an intersection in our hometown every morning 4 to 5 years ago takes. And of course, the incredible music in today's episode is by the one and the only Amaranthin from their album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with their other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes, and 10 Very Big Books will be back on December 20th with the first few chapters of the last book of Deadhouse Gates. And as always, thank you so much for listening.